Serving all of San Diego, this is your Fox 5 Morning News.
Still ahead on Fox 5, preventing breast cancer, why mushrooms could be key, and other strategies to stay healthy.
All right, Raul, thank you. Could a breast cancer vaccine and other preventative measures cut the rate of the disease in half? My next guest, Dr. Christine Horner, believes so, and we're about to look deeper into her scientific findings. Thank you for being here.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right, so you talk about some preventative measures in your book. It is called Waking the Warrior Goddess. But first, we're going to talk a little bit about what you call a breast cancer vaccine. This is something that they're working on. It's for the future, but they're working on it right now. Tell me, if you would, a little bit about this.
Sure. So just like we know a virus causes cervical cancer, they've now identified a virus that is involved in a certain percentage of breast cancers, not all breast cancers, but interestingly what they found is that there's a virus that occurs in mice called a mouse mammary tumor virus, and so they find in areas of the world where there's a high prevalence of that, there's a higher incidence of breast cancer in women in those areas, so kind of Eastern Africa and in the Middle East. So here in the United States, they did some research on it, and they found that 40% of women in the United States who have breast cancer, that they identify this virus that's present in it. And in some of the more aggressive tumors that we see, so these are things like inflammatory breast carcinoma or some other types, it's even higher, so up to 65%. So they're working on a vaccine to be able to vaccinate against this particular virus in hopes that they could cut down the risk of breast cancer by at least 40%. And the Cleveland Clinic just came out with a press release saying that they're working on a different kind of a virus which targets a protein in the breast, and they're getting ready for clinical trials in about 2 years. But no vaccine is going to be ready for about 10 years.
Okay,
yeah.
so this is still far off.
It
but
is.
You talk about some really important preventative measures. Can we go through some of those?
Absolutely. So that's my big message. So I was a plastic surgeon, and I was doing a lot of breast reconstructive surgery, and I noticed my patients getting younger and younger until finally I was doing women in their 20s. Then my own mom got breast cancer and died from it. So I thought, you know, there's got to be things that women can do to help significantly lower their risk. So what I did is I went through the medical research just to see, and I was delighted to find that there were actually thousands of studies showing that our diet and our lifestyle really has a huge significant influence. So most breast cancers are not genetic. Most breast cancers are actually things that are within our control to significantly lower the risk. And what I found was you do one thing. So you have a terrible diet and lifestyle, you do one thing, you can cut your risk in half. If you do more than one thing, those things will multiply up together, they don't add up together.
All right, so you gotta tell us the one thing.
Okay. So actually, everything that I looked, there's about a 50% reduction.
Okay.
Terrible statistics are that 90% of Americans who have a heart attack will go back to their original diet and lifestyle in 1 year. So we're not really motivated to stay healthy. So one of the things that I recommend for people is to start with some nutritional supplements first. Everybody can do it, it's easy to do, and then try to do some, you know, healthy diet and lifestyle changes as much as you possibly can. So I have several different supplements that are my favorite that have great impact. And the first one is called AHCC. So this is a mushroom formula, and one of the things that we know about breast cancer is, and actually all kinds of cancers, is that our immune system is something that plays a major role. And anytime we have something that slugs our immune system down, that's when it increases our risk of cancer. So stress, staying up too late at night, eating sugar is something that slugs our immune system. And so an easy way to keep it healthy is to take mushrooms or a mushroom formula, and AHCC is actually my favorite. It's one that's made in Japan. They use a variety of different medicinal mushrooms so that the molecules are very small and absorbs into our system very rapidly. And what it does is it supports every single cell type in our immune system. And so what the research shows is that if people take AHCC on a regular basis, they have a much lower incidence of all sorts of different kinds of cancers. If you get cancer and take AHCC, it improves your survival statistics. And if you actually have to have chemotherapy, it will take away many of the side effects. Wow. So a great thing to do to boost your immune system. The next thing that's very important is vitamin D. That's our sunshine vitamin. So here in San Diego, if we get a lot of sunshine, we're luckier than other places in the country, and particularly in the wintertime. What they found is that vitamin D acts like a hormone, and it actually affects hundreds of different genes and is crucial in the prevention of numerous different kinds of diseases, including breast cancer. So there was a study that was done just in this past year, and they found that people who were given vitamin D3 supplements had half the incidence of breast cancer and colon cancer. So
wow.
Here's one, just half, right?
Wow.
Now the next thing would be eating turmeric. So the turmeric right here is an Indian spice. It looks like it's a root, like a ginger root, but it has unbelievable amounts of medicine that are present in it, and it's considered the #1 anti-cancer spice. The research has done more studies on this particular plant than any. If you look in the medical literature, there's 5,500 studies that have been done on it, and many of them done at MD Anderson. It inhibits the growth of 17 different kinds of cancers. So excellent to cook with, or you can take it in a supplement form. The next thing is green tea. So we know that green tea is a health drink, and it actually inhibits the growth of about 11 different kinds of cancers. Now the therapeutic dose is 6 to 10 cups a day, so sometimes that can be tough. And again, if you take it as a supplement, it can be extremely beneficial. And one of the interesting things that they found is if you take two healthy things together, so for instance, turmeric and green tea, they will have synergistic effects, meaning that each one makes the other one more effective. So green tea actually enhances the anti-cancer effects of turmeric by 3 times, and turmeric enhances the anti-cancer effects of green tea by 8 times. So these healthy foods, invariably when we do research on them, we find that they have synergistic effects. So again, very easy to dramatically lower your risk. Finally, flax seeds, which are you know, the most powerful anti-cancer seeds and foods against breast cancer. In fact, it inhibits every single step of the estrogen pathway in the body. We know that estrogen is something that helps to fuel breast cancer. So Lillian Thompson at the University of Toronto is the world's leading researcher on flax seeds, and she's done experiments showing that if you give ground flax seeds to women diagnosed with breast cancer, in every single one of them, their tumors will shrink. It's that powerful. And I had patients where the tumors shrank by 2/3 in 3 weeks with flax seeds. So these are superfoods, I call them. Broccoli, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts and kale are cruciferous vegetables and some of the best vegetables for you to consume. So here's some simple things. Get a little exercise per day. Try to go to bed by 10 o'clock at night. Minimize your stress. And you know, your risk of developing breast cancer and really any chronic disease is going to be incredibly low. So super simple.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know a thing or two on this topic.
I do. Actually, I just finished, this is the 3rd updated revised edition of my book, which won the Best Health Book of the Year in 2006. But it's everything that I could find that has a statistically significant influence that either you should avoid or you should favor in order to lower your risk.
Dr. Horner, thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
You are a vat of information. I'm just soaking it all in because it's really important.
Yes.
Everybody knows somebody that's been touched by breast cancer. So the more we can try to cut it out, the better.
Exactly.
Thank you as always.
Oh, you're welcome.
We really
You're
appreciate
welcome.
it.